And 1, 2, 3, we're live. Good evening.
And this time you can ask questions.
Yeah, I made sure I did it right. There's down in the bottom right-hand screen, you can post questions. You can say hi.
I gotta turn my sound down. Hang on. There we go. Okay.
And you're more than halfway through now. So
congratulations.
Woo-hoo.
Happy hump day. So how is everybody doing? Anybody have any questions? Say hi and let us know you're here so we don't feel like we're talking to ourselves.
We see that 8 of us are on. Sherry, hi Sherry.
Yeah, that's me.
No, Sherry Winslow.
Oh, hi Sherry.
So we have a list of things. We'll wait 1 minute and just make sure people are on board. Nobody else is coming in. And this will be recorded for later viewing as well. So if you have to leave early, it'll be there. And for those that, yeah, I'm shaking the table. So, and for those that are, that don't get a chance to watch it, encourage them to see it. Hopefully it'll give them some information.
Oh, I'm glad you like that peanut dressing. That's one of our favorites. I have to avoid eating it because I won't stop. It's really good.
But you know, we made the book specifically because we've done the challenge for the past couple of years, but we wanted it to be more sustainable. And sauces like that just are very pleasurable. They give you a sense of luxury and richness that you just don't get in any other way. So that's why we did that.
Is that Linda Shank, right? I think I remember the name. It says L Shank, but I think it's Linda, right? Let us know. But we had done challenges before. The last 2 years before this one, we had done Engine 2 challenges. But prior to that, we did challenges that we followed a different cookbook. We did the Plant Pure Nation cookbook. And that one allows peanuts. And surprisingly, we got the same results. People got the same results whether there was a little bit of peanuts or not, or a little bit of tofu. So since last year, people felt it was so strict, we didn't want that to be the reason why they wouldn't participate in the challenge. So we decided to, go back to being a little bit more open about what was okay for the challenge, because you still will see results. Now, of course, if you have weight to lose, or if you have heart disease, or severe type 2 diabetes, you might want to be a little bit more careful and try to have less of that stuff. But it's still not going to kill you. Yet,
some of the research and some of the plant-based doctors differ on the benefits of nuts. Now, Dr. Esselstyn says he wants to cause no harm. So the minimal that he will allow is like a sprinkling of walnuts in his granola. Flax seeds. That he will agree to. But some of the other doctors, and especially one of our favorites who just came out with this book, How Not to Diet, Dr. Greger, he really talks in the book about the benefits of nuts and seeds, that they give you some things that no other food gives you. So I think we're going to find out more and more of that. So we've started incorporating more nuts and seeds in our diet. In our salad, we sprinkle sunflower seeds or walnuts.
Or the little pumpkin pepito.
Yeah, the pumpkin pepitas. And I experimented this summer with a sunflower seed dressing, and I'm going to hopefully perfect one and get that out to everybody sometime.
So we did have a question before we started. There was someone that was asking about having pre-diabetes and eating fruit and how much they should eat. We did send out the newsletter today, and that was about diabetes. And if you read it or watched all the information and got that in you, you'd realize that type 2 diabetes and fruit really isn't the problem. The problem is how much fat you have in your diet. So if fruit comes with fiber, there's no problem with your body handling it. It's if you're having lots of fat. So type 2 diabetics should really pay attention to how much fat they're consuming, because that prevents the insulin from getting to the cells.
And think of it like fat clogs our arteries. Well, fat also clogs the insulin receptors that receive the insulin. That's the issue. So, fat, just get it out. I had a thought while you were doing that.
I usually can read your mind.
I had another email today, and it was just a parent of a type 1 diabetic, and she just wanted us to make sure, and we know it, but sometimes we say things interchangeably, that type 1 diabetes is different than type 2, so we shouldn't just say diabetes.
Right, it's type 2 diabetes is what we're referring to. Although one of the videos that that you posted in the newsletter was Mastering Diabetes. They're one of them or both of them are type 1 diabetics, and there is no cure for type 1 diabetes. That means that your pancreas is just not producing insulin at all. With type 2 diabetes, your pancreas is just fine. It's just not getting into the cells. So if you watch Jane Esselstyn's video that was in the newsletter, it'll really explain to you what the difference is between type 1 and type 2 diabetes. So if you are pre-diabetic or you're a type 2 diabetic, just watch your fat intake. Make sure, obviously, that you're monitoring your blood, but you should be seeing your numbers come down. And it's more a fat issue. So don't worry about fruit. Fruit is not your enemy.
Yes, I am feeling better. Thank you, Sherry. I had the flu last Friday.
But because of plants and Tamiflu,
Plants and Tamiflu, 4 days. I was back to work Tuesday, a little tired, but I was back to work Tuesday, and each day I get better and better. And even yesterday, I went to the gym and did a little running on the treadmill, and feel great today. I feel totally back to myself today.
And so far, knock on wood, all my cleansing and detoxing the house and staying away from him and sleeping in another room worked, because I did not get it. So hooray for no flu.
So there was that. And the same person who asked about the diabetes, she asked about where you can get our book. And our book, you can just go to eatplantslove.com and you can order it there, and we'll get it right out to you.
And we'll even sign it.
Even sign.
For some reason, everyone seems to really think that's a really cool thing to have our signature in books. So we're honored, but we're not famous people. But if it makes you happy, we definitely don't mind signing them.
Kathy, a great question. Do we get the flu shot? What's interesting is we have a plant-based doctor, a lifestyle medicine doctor, and we've talked with her, and she has to get it because she's a doctor, and it would be almost malpractice if she didn't. She really left it up to us. And no, I did not get a shot this year, even though I work in a school. This is the first time I've ever gotten the flu in my life. So, that plays into it a little bit.
And we're not anti-vaccines or anything like that. This is not an anti-vaccine issue. It's more, from what we've read about the flu shot, it only covers about a 10-15% chance that it's going to be the flu that is around. And we both feel we're relatively healthy. So if we get the flu, we'd be able to withstand it, which we did. Or he did. I didn't have to do anything.
And I work in a school, and there's lots of people that got the flu that had the flu shot. So it's not a guarantee. It's not a guarantee. So that's a personal thing. It's just like we're not going to bring up religion, we're not going to bring up politics, and we're not going to bring up
flu shots
and vegan, non-vegan thing. That's personal choices.
Everybody's personal choice. If you feel better having a flu shot, get one. And if you don't want one, talk to your doctor, and if they don't think that you really need it, then don't.
We're sort of getting ahead of ourselves on our next question. There's one of our newsletters coming out talks a lot about the gut biome. I literally could have done a whole other newsletter about the gut biome. And Dr. Greger's book, Talking About the Diet, has a ton about how our gut biome controls weight loss, our satiety, our immune system, so many things. And the research is all relatively new within the past 10 years. So, and every day more and more information comes out, right down to why we should have berries, why, and it's not even just the fiber in the berries, it's the polyphenols in the berries that help with so much in our immune system.
And you said, because I didn't get to that part, I'm reading it, he's listening to it, but that you said that actually berries help with weight loss, which yes. I know that all fruit and vegetables and all that, but I didn't know berries specifically. So that was interesting.
Weight loss and
you don't remember?
I'm drawing a blank. It's late in the day.
It's on Friday.
It's on Friday. So berries are definitely beneficial to get into your diet every single day.
But we are going to talk about the gut biome in the newsletter.
Yes.
But we did want to just let people know that your body is actually more bacteria than it is human, which I think is fascinating. And your gut biome regulates everything in your body. So what you put into your gut is important, and it affects depression. It affects all different kinds of diseases.
And it basically feeds on fiber, and the only place you get fiber, the good bacteria, the bacteria you want to keep building, only gets created by fiber-eating bacteria. So fiber only comes from plants. If you're not getting that, that's why you have a weakened immune system. That's why you have some people have autoimmune issues and intestinal issues because they're not getting enough fiber. And what they found, and Gregor puts it in there, is so those people that don't have a lot of fiber in their diet, there's this slimy layer in our colon that helps keep the bacteria away from the internal parts of our body. Well, when you don't get enough fiber, those bacteria start eating away at that layer, which then, if there's no layer, those bacteria can then get in. That's where you get leaky gut and a lot of the intestinal issues. So having the good bacteria creates this mucus layer that is beneficial to us and helps keep things moving.
The doctor we see is Dr. Carrie Graff. She's in Canandaigua. She doesn't take new patients, but if you tell her you're already plant-based, they might take you on. She's really sweet, and she's got two other, I think she has a PA and another doctor now in practice. So she's fantastic. So we highly recommend her.
And if you're looking for other ones in the Rochester area, you may want to go to the Plantrition Project. The Plantrition Project has a place there looking for a doctor or find a doctor, and they have it for all over the country, and you can see if there's one in your area.
Because there's probably even some that have been board certified
here
that we just aren't aware of yet. I mean, we do know of,
like you mentioned, the pediatrician last
Timothy
time.
Geen. So if anybody needs a pediatrician, he's wonderful. I hope that everybody's, bathroom situations and bloating and farting and all the things that everybody was concerned about is starting to dissipate a little bit. The timing of that really, it depends. I mean, everybody's a little bit different, but it depends on how bad your diet was before. So if you had never had beans and fiber in your diet and suddenly you're loading it up, it's going to be uncomfortable. So if that is continuing for you, I would suggest that you just ease back a little bit on the beans and eat a little bit less, really fibrous foods, and
go
slow.
More the starchy.
Yeah, go starchy and greens, and the beans but just don't have the 3 servings or 1.5 cups a day, because that might be a little too much fiber for you.
But and Gregor talks about how beneficial beans are. And you can take a look at different beans too, because they may react with you a little different. He says that if beans are really giving you an issue, try something easier like lentils. Lentils are easier to process. They're milder. They cook real quick, and they're just as beneficial.
I would imagine tofu would be the same too.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
So the legume, anything in the legume family. You were talking about that. I should write notes, because when you were doing this, I was thinking of a couple other things.
Well,
that people that were asking things this week. And going back to the gut and everything, and I might have said this last time, you're actually rewriting your gut biome. So the bacteria that feeds on fiber are growing in your system. The meat-eating, dairy-eating bacteria are going down, dying. So you may feel a little bloating, you may feel a little off. And they say that happens within days, and that's why it's that literally within a week, you can rewrite your gut biome, and that's what you're doing right now. So once you get past that point, that bloating starts getting off, you start feeling better, you don't feel as off in your stomach, and the energy comes on. And that's why we do 10-day challenges. Rip Esselstyn does 7-day. In 7 days, typically people are feeling fine, but add 3 more days and they're really feeling it, feeling that good part. So hopefully you should start feeling that, if you haven't already, within the next couple days.
And yes, sometimes if you have a lot of fiber, if you eat quickly, and you don't chew your food completely, that could contribute. So try chewing more and eat a little bit slower. But sometimes vegans have gas, and my joke always is that's how we find each other in a crowd. And
Kathy, you're absolutely right. Immunity starts in our gut. Something like 80 or 90% of our serotonin, that feel-good chemical, gets created in our gut for use in our body.
So it affects depression.
When I had the flu last week, my doc even said that because I had a sinus infection the week before and I had to take a course of antibiotics, it kills the good and the bad bacteria, so that weakened my immune system. So now I'm working on building that back up. And the best way to do it is get a variety of every kind of fruit, vegetable, grain, and legume you can, and some sauerkraut.
So we were also talking that people have been asking a lot about snacking, and you can't really tell what somebody's saying when they're typing and you're reading it, but I feel like, I'm this mean lady that's saying, sorry, you can't have your snacks. And you can do whatever you want in your own house. We're not there. We're not the food police. There's no food police. But the reason why we're so strict is so that you get the right information. You can do whatever you want, but we would like you to be successful. So we want to give you as much information as we have and the accurate information. So, if you had a couple of potato chips, no, it's not the ideal thing, but you're not going to die. Just don't have any more. And just the next meal, just load up on some healthy stuff and just pretend it didn't happen. Just move forward.
We say you're one meal away from a healthier you. So even if you, like some people say, oh, I fell off the wagon. No, it's just now you have a chance. The next meal, the next thing you put in your mouth, you have a chance to change that. So we don't want to guilt anybody in anything. And this is a journey. We didn't do this overnight. It took us about 6 years to really get where we are today. And it was a journey, and it was a lot of introspection as well as a lot of research on our part. What is the best way to go? And once we found the plant-based doctors and learned all the research, that was a gradual change. So with our 10-day challenges, we're trying to help you make that change quicker than 6 years, to help you and to help your family.
That sounds good. What else? So as far as snacking, if you need to eat between meals, reach for potatoes, reach for vegetables, reach for fruit. If that doesn't fill you, have another one. Don't say, oh, that didn't work. I think I'm going to have to go have my chocolate now. Just eat more fruits and vegetables. You shouldn't feel hungry at all. So that's it on snacking. You want to talk about serving size. Some people are worried.
Well, tonight.
Yeah, so we made our hash browns tonight. I posted a picture for those of you on Facebook.
We tried them on the waffle iron. We've never done that before.
Yeah, we usually make it in our skillet and then bake it. But this time we said, all right, let's try in the waffle iron. Well, actually, Doug did. It was my idea, but Doug did it because I was working. And the bag is how many?
It's 1.5 pounds. I think it's 20 ounces.
20 ounce bag?
Yeah.
It says that it has 10 servings in it. Well, we ate the whole thing, the two of us. And if you look, we're really concerned about like calories or the amount of food that you're eating. It sounds like it's a lot, but there's 700 calories in the bag. So if we split it, that's 350. In addition to our beans, mushrooms, and broccoli, we barely made 500 or 600 calories for a meal. Well, we only eat 2 meals a day. So eat as much of the calorie light food, the nutrient dense ones. Don't eat calorically high foods because those won't fill you up.
And I guess our point is, when you see the serving size was 1 cup. 1 cup of potatoes, that wouldn't feed us or keep us satiated. So when it comes to plants, you really don't have to worry. We typically don't count at all.
We just noticed it tonight because we thought that was interesting.
We thought it was funny, actually. What are you kidding me?
They eat a lot.
So that's part of that.
I also wanted just to make sure we wanted to talk about movement. Nobody has to have an exercise routine. You don't have to join any gyms or anything like that. But to be a healthy human, you need to move your body. That's what we were designed for. It's natural for us to move. It's not natural for us to sit in a chair. It's not natural for us to sit in a sofa or in an office chair or on a lounge chair. Those things are just like modern luxuries. We were meant to move. So try and add, if you're a couch potato and haven't ever moved, start with walking. Walk to the mailbox, walk to the corner, and the next day walk around the block. And each day, just add a little bit more until you're moving a good 30 minutes a day. And you need to do that, not for weight loss. It has nothing to do with it. It has to do with good health. So
your heart.
And your heart.
You know, it's a muscle. You have to work it. Now, one of our friends, Ray Cronice, who helped Penn Jillette lose 100 pounds in 86 days.
Something like that.
And that's chronicled in Penn Jillette's book, Presto. Great book, as long as you don't mind swearing in it.
I like swearing.
Yeah, and he talks about it. And boy, I'm really losing it tonight.
Were you going to talk about this or about movement?
Movement.
The first 2 weeks,
he says
he never exercised.
Well, during the whole weight loss, he goes, you are carrying around, like if you're overweight and want to lose weight, exercise is not going to help you necessarily lose weight faster. He says, you're carrying that weight. You're carrying that excess weight. And anybody who's ever lost any amount of weight
knows how it feels, how lighter you feel.
Exactly. So like I had 60 pounds. If I went to the store and got 60 pounds of flour and tried carrying that.
And walking around all day.
Walking around, you're tired, you're exhausted, your body's doing that. So he says, you don't have to. You don't have to. But what we're saying is just keep moving. Whatever that is, whether it's parking a little further out in the parking lot and walking in, or just taking the stairs instead of the elevator, or walking your dog. That is all good. And, you know, most doctors say 45 minutes to an hour, as often as you can during the week, 4 or 5 times a week, will help get your aerobic activity up to be a healthy individual.
Your heart needs to work.
And for me especially, and I might have said this before, the only reason I took up jogging was because I couldn't sleep at night.
You're running. You don't jog. You run.
Okay, I run.
I jog.
Because I couldn't sleep at night, so I had to tire myself out of it. Because otherwise, my mind would just keep going, and I needed to cut myself off there.
So the longer you eat this way, which we're hoping that it isn't just for 10 days for most of you, we're hoping afterwards that this is something that you do want to continue. The longer you do it, the more energetic you will feel. And no, you may not want to go run a marathon like Doug did, but you may want to do something that you've never tried before because you can. And so, you know, we encourage you to exercise.
My basic reason too was I wanted to show, mostly probably myself, that my heart was okay, that I could do something that I had never done before, and I beat that heart disease. So that's sort of my mindset back in with that.
So if you can't walk or run, I did post about Zach Bush, Dr. Zach Bush. He has a 4-minute workout. You just just Google Zach Bush 4-minute workout. It'll come up. It's just a couple of exercises that you do. You do it 3 times a day for 4 minutes each. That's 12 minutes that you move that day. It takes no time, but you're using almost all the major muscles in your body. So that each exercise has for your shoulders, and it's got for your legs, and
it's helped tone her up a little bit. Not that you were.
No,
I'm getting myself in trouble.
You're not in trouble. When as you get older, you get that little thing that happens in your arm, and mine went away. So whatever it was, it was gone.
But what she's done is she did it however many times. 3 times a day.
I did 3 times a day for 6 days a week since last January.
And then you upped it.
Each time I kept on upping. Every month I added either poundage or reps.
So she got these little 1-pound weights after she felt like, okay, I'm not getting a challenge anymore, and she added those, and then
now up to 2-pound weights.
Now you're up to 2-pound weights.
So I did 20 repetitions with 2-pound weights, 3 sets, and it's 4 exercises. And
then when we walk the dog in the morning, we try to get out every morning unless it's really pouring rain or something. I'll
bring those with me.
Bring the weights with, yeah. So she does
so
that.
I just have extra movement.
So she gets a little extra.
So it's really important for your health. It's important for your emotional health. You really don't. It helps stave off depression. So if you're someone, especially in the winter, that suffers from the lack of sunshine, move. Go out in the cold. It doesn't matter. You can always dress for it. It's good for longevity. So move it or lose it.
Lisa, I'm so glad you have no sound. We're 30 strong and doing great at Rhinebeck. Woo-hoo! I know we get a lot of people from Rhinebeck, so that is great.
Is there anybody else that can't hear us?
Hopefully it's on your end and not our end.
Yeah, that would be terrible.
Because
Can everyone hear us?
Because it's showing on my monitor that there is a volume.
Yeah.
And so hopefully, and everybody must be, because
people are asking questions. Unless they're good lip readers.
So, Lisa, this is going to be, it is recorded, so later you can look at it on a computer that hopefully has sound. But
we're happy that you're doing well at Rhinebeck. That's fantastic. There was a question. Let's see. How do you keep the potatoes from sticking to the waffle maker? Just you have to wait longer. It was like 20 minutes, wasn't it?
Yeah, 15, 20 minutes. Yeah. I mean, they were nice and brown. There was still steam coming out, so I just let it go. And the second one was even better because I let it sit there even longer while we were eating. Because the one bag made 2 full waffle irons.
Oh, there we go. You can hear us in Lockport. Terrific.
Great.
All right. So was there any, you wanted to talk about a couple of books then?
Couple of books and resources. First off, if you didn't see it, Forks Over Knives. It's a great magazine. And this just came out this past week, and we got it within days. It's how to eat plant-based.
And it is. I read the whole thing today because I wanted to, really see what they offered. If this is like your first jump into this is a fabulous resource. It has recipes. It has ideas how to do your kitchen. It tells you how to meal plan. It has success stories. And it has tons of stuff. And I don't work for Forks Over Knives. I'm not trying to, push them. But this is a great little, besides our book, which we think, gave you a lot of information. This is an invaluable resource.
And normally this comes out in stores like the Barnes & Noble, our local supermarket. I don't know if this one's going to come out.
Yeah, because it's not the same.
It usually comes out quarterly.
Hang on. Wait, so this is like what their typical issues are.
But all the recipes, I don't think we've had a bad one yet.
No.
So very, very good. And we're friends with some people in Michigan. And Michigan, if you did not know, it has the largest plant-based support group in the world.
Don't they have like 10, 15,000 people?
10 or 15,000 in the Detroit and surrounding areas. And they just came out with their cookbook, and it's called Perfectly Plant-Based. And you can go to PBSNG.
No, PBNSG. Plant-based Nutrition Support Group, PBNSG. And you can go there. It's .org, I think.
I think so.
.org. You can just Google them, Plant-Based Nutrition Support Group in Detroit. Every one of their members submitted recipes, so it's like this whole different. We just got it in the mail today, so we can't give reviews yet of anybody's recipes, but there's tons of them.
I'm sure they're almost as good as ours.
Maybe.
So maybe. And then some friends of ours that we met. A couple years ago, we won a trip, a cruise on the Holistic Holiday at Sea, which is a
sexiest vegan over 50 with PETA. I still can't say that without laughing. It's too funny.
So, anyways, I won the cruise, and I took her along.
I went on the cruise.
It was our honeymoon, basically, because we never had a honeymoon. And we met 2 amazing people, Ray Cronice, who's the guy who helped Penn Jillette lose his weight, and Juliana Hever, the plant-based dietitian out of California. They're a cute couple. They're wonderful. They have a podcast called
Science and Saucery. It's every Tuesday. And it's really, they're not too long, and it's just filled with tons of information. Well worth it.
He's a former NASA scientist. She's a plant-based dietitian, and they're just adorable. Well, they came out with their cookbook, The Health Span Solution. And it was recommended by David Sinclair, who wrote
Longevity Diet.
The Lifespan.
Lifespan?
Yeah, because
that's right.
Longevity is longer.
Longevity.
So he recommends it. They're friends. So this is all about eating healthier to live longer. And it's plant-based. They do use a little oil, more for flavoring.
Hardly in any of the recipes.
It's like sesame oil,
like a
1 teaspoon. So, I mean, it's something that if you want to, you can easily leave out. I would not look at it because of that, because there's lots of science in the beginning, and then it's all great recipes.
And that 1 teaspoon of oil, if you have it once every 6 months, is not going to hurt you unless you have heart disease or are trying to lose weight. So those are the 2 reasons why I wouldn't use the oil.
It's a hardcover book. It's beautifully done. It's a wonderful book. And they're sort of like us in the fact that we like a lot of mushrooms. They like a lot of mushrooms. It's funny, some of the things. Ray promotes this mushroom powder that he makes. Well,
he makes a mushroom.
We have a mushroom powder, and we didn't know that until they started
because
talking
our books
about
came
it.
out at the same time.
Yeah. So, but they both wrote this one. No, they both wrote this one before. The Idiot's Guide to Plant-Based Nutrition, second edition. They did this one together. This one's also full of a lot of science and help. So if you want information on, like, is plant-based nutrition good for my 4-year-old daughter? It's in here. What about the elderly? It's in here. So good information on that.
Okay, so does anybody else have any questions? Because I think that we tackled the things we were going to talk about. So before we sign off, we'll give you just a minute or two if anybody wants to ask us anything at all. If not, we do hope that you're really doing okay. It's hard, some of you are on Facebook, so we're getting a lot of feedback, but others are not. So feel free to send us an email if you have a question at eatplantslove@gmail.com. Both of us share that account. So if it's a private question you want answered, we'll gladly do that. We'll answer anything anybody sends us.
Something I read just before in this too, he has something aligned like, you got to be in it to win it. And that's what this is about. So many times people who took the challenge last year said, I'm doing so much better this year. There is a lot to learn. We're not used to cooking vegetables as the main courses and blending all these things together. But once you do, you start making those big changes and big moves. So that's why we said last week, if you want 100% results, you got to do it 100%. And a lot of times it is giving up those old habits, which are hard.
But they go away. If you stick with it long enough, you'll be amazed that you don't crave those things. I mean, our diet is so different than what it was when we first met. And we both thought we were relatively health conscious people.
We didn't eat fried food.
We don't eat fried foods. But we came this way, and maybe we lost some friends along the way, who knows? But we've made so many new ones. And it's nice to know that there are so many of us out there. So try and connect with somebody that you're working with that that's doing this, or if you know even someone just online, and support each other. So if you work together, cook each other lunch together, or if you don't live near each other, just send recipe ideas. It feels better when you're doing this with somebody else, so you don't feel alone. And it doesn't mean you have to talk to the whole world about it, because not everybody wants to hear about plant-based, which we have learned. So sometimes you just have to keep your mouth closed. But if you are in this group and you want some support besides from us, reach out to some of the other people that you're working with or that you see on Facebook. It really would be helpful.
And I'm going to put a call out again. I said it on the Facebook group, but those veterans that are helping the new people doing this, thank you so much. It helps for us not have to answer all the questions.
We try to. We still try to, chime in, but sometimes we miss a couple, and it's nice to see.
You veterans are answering things terrifically. And thank you, Lisa and Linda. You're right. It's amazing what we put greens into now, or eating greens in the morning for breakfast. Never would have thought of that. And it's just all good. And thank you, Kathy. Thank you for
appreciating it.
Yes.
We really appreciate all of you, because we have all this energy and we have all this knowledge, and we know that there are so many sick people out there. So, this gives us an opportunity to help spread the love. So eat your plants, and we hope to continue to see you. Reach out to us, and good luck, everybody. We're really proud of you.
Keep warm this weekend, especially if you're in New York, because it's really chilly out there. Cook up a nice bowl of hot soup.
We're making black bean soup tomorrow.
Woohoo! And keep warm.
All right. Have a good night, everybody. Oh, wait. Someone said something?
Woohoo!
Good for you. That's terrific. Great, Ayana.
So we're going to say
all right,
good night, good weekend.
Bye.